Hey everybody, this is your video for 4.1 Math Excel. So the first one says find the matrix sum if possible, and they gave you 4 of them. So you have a 3x2, a 3x2, a 2x2, and another 2x2. And so on this one they just want you to do a plus b. They're the same dimensions. And so you're basically doing 12 plus negative 5 or 12 minus 5, 3 plus 4, 8 plus 4, negative 6 minus 6, 6 minus 2, and 7 plus 7. And so then you end up with your answer as 7, 7, 12, negative 12, 4, 14. So I don't usually write this step. I just do it mentally, or I do it on the calculator. And I'll show you a later problem about how to do it on the calculator. The other thing I wanted to mention is this is a 3x2 and this is a 2x2, so you could not do a plus c, for example, because they would be different dimensions. And that's a great transition into this one. It says add the following matrices, and you have a 2x3 trying to add that to a 3x2, and it's not possible. Because, like, for example, if this is A13, where is A13 over here? It does not exist. And so it's not possible. The two matrices have different sizes, so the sum does not exist. And then on this one, you do your difference. So there's different approaches for this. I just like to do 5 minus 5 and get 0, 2 minus 3, and so forth. What some people like to do is say plus and then change every single sign, and you can do that also. It just depends on how you want to do it. In this problem, it was super easy because everything was positive. And so, like, it's not like you're even having to say minus a negative. So this one's just pretty simple, and so there's your solution. On the next one, it says find the sum, and all you're doing is adding the 0 matrix. This is one of your identities. You're basically adding a 0 matrix, which is the additive identity property. Additive identity property. And so you just get the exact same thing. Now the next one says find the value of each variable. So I see there's an x term here. You can say 3x minus 4 equal 14 because it says equal, and solve. Or I see a 3x here and an 18 here, and you can solve that. If you do it right, you better get the same answer, for x. Now, there was also a t variable, and so I set this one equal to this one, and solve, and you get 3/10, which is the same thing as 0.3. And you could even, do a check on here, like this one has your 15t plus 1.5x equal 13.5, and so if you plug in your numbers, you better get 13.5, which I did. So there's ways to check these. You cannot do RREF on these. This is just matrix addition or subtraction. On this one, you have matrix X minus matrix listed here equal another matrix. So you would just treat this like a regular equation where you add this to both sides, and then you get 7, negative 1, negative 3, 4. So pretty straightforward for that. Now the next one, it just has a lot of numbers, and it's long because there's decimals also. It says given two tables, write the two matrices. And so here's all your information with male drivers. You have your age as either 16, 17, or between 30 and 59. And you have your number of passengers. And this is a greater than or equal to 3. And then you also have information for your female drivers. So all you really do is you take this information and put it in a matrix, and put this information in a matrix. And so that's pretty straightforward. Now for A minus B, you could subtract each element, or you could store it, then subtract, or use the calculator without storing. In fact, like in class, on the other video, it didn't even show storing it. You would just basically go as menu 711. It's a 3x4. And you just enter in your numbers 2.48, 2.29, 6.11, 8.99, and so forth. If it has a lot of decimals, I probably would type it instead of just relying on mental math. Also, in the case of if you have more than one operation, like on some of them you may want to do plus and on some of them minus. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm subtracting. So I'm just going to stick the minus sign there. And then I do menu 711, and again write the other one. This is a 3x4. And so you just fill in your numbers there. It went off the calculator screen, so that's why you have to do the little arrow thing. I hit tab to keep on going. And again, just be aware of typos. Like, make sure you double check your work, and be careful. It's not necessary to put a 0 before a number if it's like 0.51. But if it's, whoops, see, like right there, I got distracted. So you don't have to have the 0 in front of something. Okay, so then you get your answer. I just pressed enter, and there you go. It's the exact same thing as this. I'm getting a little glare. There you go. So you get the exact same answer for the subtract. And like I was saying, if you want to just highlight it, like arrow up twice and press enter, and then change it to plus. Just hit delete right there and say plus. If the problem asks you that, that's one way to do it. The other way is to highlight it, hit Control C, and then Control V to paste. And then you can change it. We're not going to really get into multiplying other than, just the really basic, what they call scalar multiplying. At least for this video. And then just on a side note, I was like, well, these numbers tell a story. I don't know what the author was trying to do, but it's like saying the male drivers are worse than female drivers. That's the bottom line for what they're doing. But maybe they're taking this data and trying to influence somebody. So, I mean, I have some personal thoughts, not that it matters, but I think there might be bias because sometimes there could be fewer female drivers than male drivers. Like whenever my wife and I are out, I drive, not her. And so that means automatically I would be more likely to be in a wreck than her just because she's simply not driving. But then I'm a very safe driver, and so I think these numbers are pretty high. I mean, I agree with all these that are less than 1 for like the older age group for both groups. But this is just saying, maybe the interpretation, and I know I'm kind of like going on about it, maybe the interpretation is, hey, maybe these were drunk drivers or just people not paying attention, texting and driving, or anything else. These are pretty alarming numbers. It's like you can even say the more passengers you are, the more likely you're going to have an accident. And there could be different factors on that too. I mean, it is for women too. So anyways, just an interesting thought right there. But that wasn't part of the answer. Just tried to make the lesson a little more interesting. And then this one has just a little extra practice A subtraction problem, very easy, and an extra practice B problem with addition, so very easy. Okay, so that would be the end for the regular Algebra 2 assignment. Now I also gave some extra problems for honors. It says find the order of the given matrix. And so this one, it's 2 rows and 3 columns, so that would be 2 by 3. It says identify A32 and A23 if possible, just to see whether you know it or not. So row 3 doesn't exist. And so A32 does not exist because there's not 3 rows. But then A23 would be row 2, column 3, and so it'd be -5. And so again, questions like this may end up showing up on like a review for everybody. This one says find the values for the variables so that the matrices are equal. And so you only have an x and a 4, so that's x equal 4. You have a 3y equal 3, so that means y is 1. And then you have z equal 3. So this is like super simple right there. Then the other one was just 15 equal 15. Now there are a couple of longer problems, and I'll probably put either this one or the next one on the review for everybody. You basically have lots of steps. You have a plus b, a minus b, 10a, which is like scalar multiplication. Like our example today was just saying a plus a equal 2a, and so that's how we introduced scalar multiplication, meaning just multiply 10 by every single term. And then this is just one extra step because it has 2a and then minus 10b. So this is a little bit longer, but it is something everybody's going to do on 4-2. So these were my matrices. I did A plus and A minus mentally because that's so much quicker than having to type in all the numbers. But then here's like 10A, so I just did it there. And then on a problem like 2A minus 10B, I said 2 times everything, and so here's my answer, minus 10 times everything, and here's my answer, and then subtract them. So it's just extra steps. Okay, so it does take a little extra time to write down everything, but if you're just typing it in, it wouldn't be that long. So the last one is 934. You've got this matrix and this matrix. You're adding, so it's pretty simple. Subtracting, again, pretty simple. Multiplying by -6, again, is very simple. And then in the other one, just multiplying this one by -3 and this one by -7. So here's where I was saying if you just type it in this problem, it'd be more efficient. So more efficient on the calculator if multiple steps. And so if it would require multiple steps. And so here you basically can see -3, and then you're going to do menu 7, 1, 1. Here's where you say it's a 3 by 3 matrix, and then you just put in your numbers. And it's basically the same as what we've done before. So -15, -10, -11, -5, -3, 3, -12, 9, 12. Okay, now I need to tab to get outside the matrix, and then -7, menu 7, 1, 1. So the way I'm doing it, I didn't even use a times sign, so let's see if that's an issue. I don't think it is, but sometimes there's weird things. Okay, so then here, -8, 9, -6, 12, -11, 10, -10, 10, -2. Okay, so then I get my answer, which was the same thing I wrote. The 100, -33, 75, and so forth. Now, earlier I mentioned something about storing, and I actually, I've done something like this before, so I'm just going to test it here with this calculator. I highlighted this, and what if I did menu, matrix? Well, there's different things. There's transpose, determinant, row echelon, reduced row, element, vector. Okay, well, what I was thinking was you could actually store this into, like, call something matrix A, call something matrix B, but at the moment I don't see how to do that. Yeah, it has a lot of features we haven't really discussed yet, like maybe construct matrix or whatever. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay, maybe just like equal A. No, okay. All right, well, anyway, I tried. This would have just been extra stuff that's not needed. Because when I did matrices in my calculator, there was like a 83 plus. I could store something in matrix A, store something in matrix B, and then just say A plus B. But there are a lot of advantages to using these calculators. So, especially with being in color and the graphing. But one quick side note. This one, it was a calculus problem I was doing. Again, I'm just kind of rambling a little bit. But if I do x times tan x over this, it works. But if I do just x tan x, it doesn't work. And there's no error message. So you just got to know how to type things properly. Like here, you just put your times sign. Oh, let me show that because that wasn't visible. If you have your times sign, it graphs properly. If you don't have your times sign, then it doesn't. But there's no error message. So anyway, just keep learning about the calculator. It's a very powerful tool. Have a good day.